Everyone talking about Y Le Parfum by Yves Saint Laurent. This is in the Y line, which has lots of flankers, the EDT, the EDP, there's like a low version or something like that. There's blue electric, O electric. Point is, there's quite a few, but I do think this is one of the best ones in it. It is a blue fragrance. Think like, not that it smells like this, but Blue de Chanel, things like that are popular and considered in that category. The notes in this one are apple, aldehydes, grapefruit, ginger, sage, lavender, geranium, tonka bean, cedar, olibanum, and patchouli. So fresh, but also sort of classy at the same time. I would say this is one of my favorite YSL fragrances that are in the more kind of mainstream side of their line. Still, this definitely is not full bottle will do for me personally. It's just not really my type of thing to wear, but I think it's definitely the best in the Y line. Some people have different opinions, but to me, this is kind of the most well-rounded. And I also like that this has a little bit of a warmer dry down than most of the others. It gets kind of Tonka-y, like a warm sort of sweet woodsy Tonka. Some people compare it to the Eros dry down, but to me this is a lot more, not subtle in the sense of, projection or longevity, just kind of like less like, yeah, and I'm saying that as an Eros fan. But yeah, I also saw someone describe this as smelling like a grape household cleaning spray, and honestly I could almost see that. But I wouldn't have thought of that if I didn't read that description. But there is an almost like grape flavor type of vibe to it, but in a nicer way than that might sound. This has good longevity, it has decent projection, leans masculine, and you can get a bottle for around $135. I think all things considered, given the combination of quality, versatility, this is fair. That's fair, yeah, for $135 for this. I'll put a link in the description where you can get a bottle or a sample if you want to check it out.